you said you had these goals for the firm. Is the firm being guided by your vision? Is it being guided by Jimmy's vision? What vision is it being guided by, and how do you make sure that that vision is being followed?
So a couple of years ago, we sat down and we did the Gino Wickman traction book. We went through and built out our vision traction organizer. And at that time, I want to say it was before COVID. So the vision then was, we called it Colorado domination. That was the vision for the firm, is we want to be the best, biggest, most well-respected, best service, criminal defense only firm in Colorado. And that's the vision we laid out. That's the one that we said, this is what we're going to build our goal off of. And it's interesting because I was just looking at this the other day. The financial marks that we set, in Colorado, we have the front range of the mountains. And so our first goal was to go up the front range with our offices and then expand west. And then if we want to go over east to where Kansas is, we can, but no one really cares about the east side because it's basically Kansas. But looking at it, that was our goal. And what I realized is, for me personally, as an entrepreneur, it wasn't a big enough goal. One state wasn't enough for me. One company wasn't enough for me. And I kept pushing. For the firm, it was a fantastic goal. So what we've had to do is, my husband and I have had to balance personal goals with firm goals and separate them out. The firm is actually still well on its way to Colorado domination trajectory. From what we can tell, we're the largest, fastest growing criminal defense only firm in Colorado. We have 4 offices. It's a perfect line right along the front range. It's going really well, but I think it's not growing as fast as my original goal had been, because I recognize that the people in the firm needed it to be was different than what I wanted, or not even what I wanted. It's interesting. I think looking back, because I've looked back at my written vision that I've done a couple of times, and the feeling that I had for the firm, like when I say the feeling, I mean what the employees feel. I had written down, I think it was 2019, I had written down that we had 2 to 3 offices in 2025, and attorneys were always asking if we had openings because it was known to be such a great place to work. And that is true. People are always asking if we have openings, and we're very selective in the attorneys we bring on. But that feeling that I wanted didn't match the aggressive revenue goals that I'd set. And so I had to look at it and decide what was more important: the feeling of the firm, the cohesiveness of the group, or just cranking out gross revenue goals to crank them out. And what I found is that once you cross that 7-figure threshold, it's just a number. It doesn't mean anything. What matters is profitability, stability, a solid trajectory forward. So yes, the goals are still there, but my goals personally have expanded and grown and become much bigger. And I think that pushes the firm to do well in its goals, but also have its own goals separate from me.
So I actually think it's really easy to get to 7 figures. It's about whether or not it is really what you're talking about, that sustainable growth. Getting to 7 figures is actually really, really easy, but a lot of people do it in a really reckless way, and they get to that point and they either stagnate or they start to decline because it's not this steady growth that is sustainable. You hit this point where what I call the gridlock, where you brought on all these cases and then they're not moving because you brought on all these cases and you don't have the people, and it creates this really, really bad environment.